So I approached over 300 women in the last 30 days, cold approach on the streets, just to see what happened. I would consider myself beginner skill level, and I want to teach you what I learned from doing this. I'm very proud of doing this, and this is the most I've done consecutively, nonstop, every day. I think I missed a day or two towards the end because of sickness or other obligations, but I was super proud of myself for doing this every day. For the first 21 days, it was at least 10 approaches per day, and then after that, it was 2 hours or until I get a contact phone number exchange. So, guys, I'm not some expert. I'm telling you this from someone who's kind of scared to do this. Not so much the approach itself, but the rejection. I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm still a beginner, and it still burns a lot when I do it. So I would say I can approach pretty much, but it hurts when I get someone who's just like nods me off or ignores me or like treats me like dirt. So what did I learn? Well, first thing is volume alone is not the answer. I know there's a lot of advice out there that's just like, if you're consistent, if you put out YouTube videos every day, if you approach every day, you're bound to get better. And at least for me, I'm very consistent in a lot of areas of my life, and whether that's working out at the gym or going out to approach or anything like this. And even YouTube videos, I've put out thousands of YouTube videos on this channel, and there's multiple channels like that where I have thousands of videos. But as you can see, just consistency and volume alone doesn't necessarily mean you improve. I've been trying to improve with dating advice for 15 years now, and it's embarrassing saying that because sometimes when I talk to a coach about that, they're like 10 years, 15 years, 7 years, oh my gosh, and you still sucks. And then they go on a rant about how it's not about the time in the game, but the quality of time. And I think that's definitely true. Another example is League of Legends. I used to play that game all the time. I put like so many years of my life playing that. It was very enjoyable at times, but I still sucked at the game. Why? Because I was not really actively looking to improve as much as just playing the game and enjoying it. So I didn't really climb the rankings much. I think I was mostly in silver and gold on the ranking system. And yeah, inevitably you do improve somewhat just naturally with the obvious stuff. But beyond that, it's kind of like, you really have to actively look at it. Second thing I learned is if you suck at game in the US, you're still gonna suck at an easier country. You really need to cultivate yourself. I know there's like passport bros who go to other places because it's easier there, and that's what I learned. Now, I didn't come here to this country specifically just to game. I am actually traveling and exploring and enjoying the world, and just so happened to also be here. But that's something I heard as well. I heard the country I'm in is gonna be easier and this and that, and I haven't necessarily found that to be true. I think they're nicer to you, they're friendlier a bit, but I think certain behaviors I might do I still do here, and they'll just wave me off. They don't want to talk. It's more of like a human reaction. The next big thing is positivity. Positivity, especially for someone like me, is very important because I learned through journaling a lot, reflecting, and analyzing that, and getting feedback from my coach, is that I am really, really negative. I can latch on to the negative. I can dwell on that. I can get very upset easily, and I can take it personally when they reject me. And so I need to do everything I can to stay positive, because I can get super negative and angry at the world, angry at others, and it's usually the ones where they're mean to me, or they just brush me off, versus the ones who are at least friendly and kind and respectful and say, hey, sorry, I don't want to talk. That's all I want, just some respect and appreciation. But I guess especially it's worse in the US. Here it's much nicer, but in the US they will not care. They will just brush you off like it's nothing. And so that, I guess, affects my ego. It's like, why are you so rude to a stranger or a person? Show at least some decency, some kindness. But yeah, that's another thing. Positivity is huge. It's incredibly important. And another thing is putting in the work. So I did meet up and discover others approaching here, and I've been going out with some of them. Advice for them and people like them is they have different issues. Like, I think some of them are just not as consistent. I found this to be very common over the years I've been trying to go out with wingmen, is that many of them only want to do this once a week, and then they may disappear for months at a time, and I'm doing it every day. So a previous coach had told me the reason you're not progressing, or part of it, is because you need to do it every day, and that builds momentum. If you do it and you stop for a day or two or three, you forget everything you learned and you have to relearn. So you're not snowballing like you would if you did it every day. But I guess it's human nature or something, because most of the guys, they don't go out that often, maybe once a week at most. And when I'm out with them, they're often just goofing off and laughing and not approaching, at least some of them. So they're not really practicing. They're more goofing off and talking amongst themselves than approaching, or at least not at the pace I am. So I think you need to do at least one approach every like 10 minutes at least. If you're doing like one every 30 minutes, it's like, what are you doing? What else? Another big thing is basically have that playful, trollish, fun, flirty energy, that self-amused energy where you're like enjoying life and just having fun yourself. Because what I've learned is that a lot of these times, especially when I'm alone and I do get these rejections, I can get super negative, but then or I tend to be very serious by default. But when I look at others who are going out with me sometimes, it's beneficial because they have a more trollish, playful energy, some of them at least. And that like puts me in a better mood, and it's really a better energy and spirit for the girls too. The girls will feel what you feel. So if you're nervous and you're unsure of yourself, which is what I am, then that's going to be another issue, because they will reflect what they feel back to you, and then they'll just by default, out of discomfort, say, no, I don't want to talk to you. Another thing that I've personally found is direct openers do not work for me. Now, they may work for you. It's different depending on how good looking you are. But I love direct openers. I love them, but they don't work. I love them because for years and years, over a decade, that's what I prefer doing, especially if it's in the daytime. Like, they need more context to why you're approaching. So you tell them, hey, I think you're cute. Hey, this is random, but I wanted to meet you. There's variations of this. Now I've got them on lock because I say them so often. But when you say this stuff, at least for me, it just has a very slim chance of working. Now, sometimes, why not? You can still throw them out there because if they're just super confused while you're talking to them, that can, maybe give them more context. But I would say I've had a lot of frustration going direct because it's still like 95%. No, I have a boyfriend, not interested, no thanks, which can sting a lot. And then maybe even 99%. I don't know. It's tough. I found more luck going indirect. It buys me more time. Otherwise, it forces them to immediately judge you by your looks and then make a decision in the first 5 seconds of getting to know you. So, I don't know. Maybe some people can get away with direct, but so far I haven't cracked the code there. But I tried a lot of it. At least I tested it out, rather than sit online in theory land and just be like debating people who also have no idea what they're talking about. I actually went out and tried it out for myself repeatedly. And so, maybe it has its time and place. Maybe if you're at the airport and you're never going to see this girl again and you have 10 seconds before your plane boards, you can't waste time, That's a time when you can pull that out. And there's another wing I used to go out with about a year ago, and he had this issue. He could not approach anyone at the grocery store if he wanted to, and that was what he was training for. Because, if he was looking for a girlfriend, and if he saw someone at the gym or grocery store, he felt like he couldn't just pull that out of him to approach. And so that's what he was doing and working on. But to make a long story short, I truly think this is one of those things where I guess it just comes down to really thinking about what you're doing wrong and improving from there. So I guess now I'm at the stage where it's beyond the beginner stuff, where approach anxiety is an issue, where you're not even wanting to approach. And I see this with other guys where they have all these excuses. Oh, she's not hot enough, this and that, why they're barely doing any approaches. But now I'm past that point, and I think some of the people I go out with are also past that point for sure. Like, they enjoy it. In fact, they are approach machines. Some of them I literally saw today. Boom, boom, boom. Every minute they were approaching. Like, you couldn't even have a conversation with them because they had such ADHD, and they were just like approaching like every minute. Like, you're trying to talk to them because they'll come back to you after an approach, and then boom, they're off again. So they've gotten to a point where they actually enjoy it. It's not something they dread, which is also kind of a rarity, at least compared to some of my friends in the US. Like, I think it's more common for me to see people who are not in the dating or pickup community or anything to just be like scared to approach, or dread it, or hate going to bars and nightclubs, hate doing this, hate going out. You almost have to drag them out. And if they are out, they have plenty of excuses why this won't work, that won't work, and this and that. So I think it is something that I think is a good thing. Now there are some who get like addicted to it, and they're like, it's not good, I'm addicted to this now, and that's the only way they think they know how to meet girls, and it's the best way, but it's not. Like, there's other ways to meet girls more naturally. I think it's just like a training ground to develop your game. But for the most part, I think it is a good thing, because coming from me at least, I definitely dreaded it many days. Like, I woke up and I thought about, oh shoot, I gotta complete this challenge, and I was like, this is terrible, like I don't want to do it, I want to go home, I just had negative thoughts, and I don't even want to talk about those negative thoughts, because then I'll build a habit of what those thoughts are. But I do think it is a good thing that some of these guys, their mindsets are better than mine, and something you should learn from. They don't take it personally. They enjoy it. They enjoy the chase. Some of them had success, which also helps with their enjoyment. But if you're like me and you haven't had success, that can be tough to just build that happiness or enjoyment. But yeah, the biggest thing is just like getting to that positive state where it's not something where you are resisting or dreading or avoiding, but it's something that you're actually thinking, I'm providing value. And that way, probably the girl feels it and they feel better. But after this 1 month, I'm still going, I'm still approaching. I think I'm going to do this for a while longer. I don't think it's fixed everything. I don't think it's solved everything. But I do think that my skill set here in terms of approaching is a lot sharper. There's plenty of people who talk online, talk and say they're so good, and then you see them out and they're scared to approach, or they'll do one approach every 30 minutes. But I think I'm pretty sharp now. I can do approaches boom, boom, boom very quickly. And there's other guys here who literally today I've been out with, and they're much faster than me. Boom, boom, boom. But really, it's, to me, I was never trying to become a pickup artist or anything like that. I just want to get better with girls, and yeah, this is, you go through from coach to coach, and each coach gives their advice, and oftentimes a lot of the advice is influenced by code approach artists. So that's what I'm here to do, and just improve on things that I suck at, which hopefully includes being more emotional and less logical, which is why I think is the biggest thing that girls just kind of get bored of me if I ever get a date with them on. So hopefully it helps. I am very proud of myself. I don't think it solved everything, but that was that. And I would say when I first came here, I thought I was scared to death. I thought I'd get arrested for doing this. I thought all this terrible stuff. And none of that has happened. It's really just you opening yourself up and putting yourself out there. And I'm proud of myself. No one's really fully going to understand the dedication I put in. But I did. And you're probably wondering, why are you walking around in the dark? Why not do this in the daytime? Well, it was a long day. Let's say we were approaching for just like the time we decided to meet was like towards the end of the day, and then I had to hit the gym after and errands and stuff. So this was the only time I could film this video.